All right, let's jump right into it. Today, we're bringing you an explainer strictly focused on the Moto2 class at the 2026 Hungarian Grand Prix. We're going to break down the relentless on-track action, the race-defining overtakes, and the massive fallout this race had on the World Championship standings. If you love the raw engineering of Kalex and Bosco machines screaming through the corners, you are definitely in the right place. So let's dive into this.
The battlefield was set at the brand-new Balaton Park circuit for a grueling 22-lap sprint. We're talking about covering nearly 90 kilometers of intense, edge-of-your-seat motorsport action, where the focus of these riders has to be absolute. You know, every single point matters at this stage in the 2026 season.
And man, the tension out there was palpable. With championship points on the line, the race delivered drama instantly. In Moto2, races are so often won and lost in the opening corners, and the Hungarian Grand Prix proved to be treacherous before some of these guys even completed a single lap.
Let's start with Section 1, main race start and early chaos. Literally, surviving the first laps.
Getting away clean is everything, right? But for several key contenders, the Balaton Park circuit had totally different plans, and the complexion of the race changed instantly. Chaos kicked off before they even completed a circuit. Aron Canet suffered a brutal accident on the opening lap, ending his day before it even really began. Then, just a few laps later, disaster strikes again. A race-ending collision took out both Ivan Ortala and Daniel Munoz right around the third and fourth lap marker. Just like that, 3 heavy hitters gone in the blink of an eye.
With those guys out early, the field broke wide open. This perfectly allowed the front runners to establish their rhythm without having to fend off early attacks from the mid-pack. Filip Salac capitalized beautifully on a really strong start, but right behind him, Manuel Gonzalez quietly slotted into striking distance, totally content to just stalk his prey.
Moving into Section 2, mid-race fierce battle, the fight for P1.
As we moved into the middle stages of the race, the tension built to an absolute boiling point as the fight for the lead became an exclusive 2-horse race between Salac and Gonzalez. The race in Hungary was really a true tale of 2 halves. Salac put on an absolute defensive masterclass for the first half, commanding the pace and leading laps 1 through 11. He looked incredibly comfortable out there, but Gonzalez was just biding his time, studying Salac's lines. And then, right as they crossed the halfway point on lap 12, Gonzalez made his decisive, race-winning move to seize control. The overtake was spectacular. It was one of those surgical, heart-stopping maneuvers that immediately gets the internet buzzing. It sent fans in the live forums into an absolute frenzy, which was perfectly captured by this Reddit user, Chief_SoSoBaby, who simply posted, "What a move." It was clean, it was aggressive, and it completely shifted the momentum of the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Once he was in clean air, Gonzalez didn't just defend his new lead, he really put the hammer down. He set a blistering fastest lap of the race, a 1:40.893 on lap 17. By dropping that kind of pace late in the race, he effectively broke Salac's challenge and completely shattered any hope of a counterattack.
Which brings us to Section 3, Gonzalez's overwhelming victory and race results at the checkered flag.
From that lap 12 overtake onward, it was just an absolute masterclass from the Spanish rider all the way to the finish line. Looking at the official top 5, Manuel Gonzalez secured the win with a total race time of just over 37 minutes and 10 seconds, crossing 1.5 seconds ahead of Filip Salac. But look at this battle for third. Senna Agius claimed a brilliant third-place podium finish, fending off David Alonso by just a fraction of a second. Daniel Hogada then rounded out the top 5, bringing his Kalex home 9.5 seconds off the lead. Looking at the rest of the top 10, we saw a really solid 6th place from Izan Guevara on the Bosco chassis, fending off a charging Celestino Vietti. Alonso Lopez took 8th, Alberto Ferrandez in 9th, and Tony Arbolino brought it in for 10th. Overall, it was a huge day for Kalex chassis dominance, but the Bosco bikes of Guevara and Vietti absolutely made their presence felt in the midfield. This visual right here perfectly illustrates just how close that battle behind Gonzalez truly was. While Salac had a relatively comfortable 2-second buffer over the rest of the pack, barely half a second separated Agius in 3rd and Alonso in 4th. I mean, that is Moto2 racing at its absolute finest, pushing right to the very last corner.
Finally, Section 4, World Championship Points Ranking, the big picture.
This is where the real gravity of this explainer sets in, showing exactly how these 22 laps shook up the 2026 title fight. With his 25-point haul from the victory, Manuel Gonzalez tightens his iron grip on the championship lead, sitting comfortably at 195.5 points. Izan Guerra holds on to second with 144 points, but Senna Agius is closing in fast at 136 points after his podium finish today. And look at this. David Alonso and Daniel Holgado are locked in an incredibly tight battle for fourth, separated by literally a single point.
But honestly, the most important number coming out of this weekend is 51.5. That crucial victory in Hungary extends Manuel Gonzalez's lead to a massive 51.5 points over his closest rival, Guevara. In modern Moto2, where the machinery is so incredibly equal and the field is so deeply talented, a gap larger than 2 full race wins is basically an absolute mountain to climb for the rest of the grid.
Which brings us to the ultimate question as we look ahead to the rest of the season. With a 51.5-point lead, has Manuel Gonzalez already effectively sealed the 2026 title, or will we see a miraculous late-season comeback from the chasing pack? The pressure is squarely on Guevara, Agius, and the rest of the grid to find an answer to the number 18 Calex. So what do you think? Will anyone catch him? Thanks for joining us for this explainer. Keep analyzing the data and keep enjoying the brilliant racing.